Hello and welcome to the show. We are focusing on postpartum depression today because studies show 1 out of 10 new moms or dads in the U.S. are struggling with it right now. And listen, PPD is common, but it can be treated when you take the first step, which is asking for help. Our guest today can relate to how hard it is to take that first step after giving birth to her twin boys and moving to a new country. Chinyere Ezukanma had a tough bout with postpartum depression. She's now a mental health therapist, though, and she's here with her husband, OK, who's been by her side every single step of the way. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you so much for having us.
It's a pleasure to have you here. Let's talk about, there's that anticipation. There's all the things, right? Mm-hmm. When did it set in for you that something wasn't feeling right in terms of how you were feeling with your new twin boys?
Yeah. I think for me, the earliest recollection I have of feeling off was probably when they were about 3 months old. And that was right around the time that we made the move to London. And I think in large part it was because I just left. I'd been with my mom for the first 3 months of their life.
Oh, yes.
And she's a labor and delivery nurse, so she knows everything there is to know.
Yes.
And she's had 5 kids of her own, so she was a huge support for me during that time. She did all their baths and helped me with feedings.
How beautiful to have that kind of support.
It was incredible.
So it's a shock on many levels.
Yeah.
You're leaving mom, you're leaving all the support system and going to a brand new city, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And 3 months later, right? Because I'm guessing you feel like, oh, I've got this. We got a rhythm. We just got to figure it out together.
Exactly. And he had been with us obviously for the first month of the boy's life, and then had to go back and wait for us to join him. And so it was really just figuring out our stride and everything once we got
without mom at your side.
Without mom. Yeah.
So what was it for you? Like, how did you know this is a little different than just, I miss my mom and I've got a little bit of baby blues? This was a lot more serious for you.
Absolutely. It was probably a further 6 months on once I went back to work. I went back to work when there were 9 months. And that was around the time that I started noticing, like, okay, this is a lot.
What were the symptoms for you? Like, was it just feeling overwhelmed? How did you literally, was it a struggle to get out of bed?
It was. Lots of fatigue. Overwhelm, irritability, very snappy, probably with him more than anyone. And my appetite was doing weird things as well. And I was having to pump at work. And that was its own experience.
Tough. Yeah. Oh, I remember. It's been 17 years, but I remember that's a lot to manage. Okay, for you, what was it like seeing your wife struggle? You've got these beautiful new boys. Your wife is beautiful and is just feeling crushed. How was that for you as a father and husband?
Well, I think at the time you don't really see it till maybe after the event. You don't really see it in real time because I think it's something that's not really spoken about enough. So you can't really tell the symptoms. Okay, you see her tired and you just think, okay, well, she's just tired because
we've got these new babies.
And she's been up at night feeding, and so but then maybe months or even years later, when having discussions or with being more immersed in social media, you kind of now see those things as
it's a little bit more
easy.
It's a little easier to talk about, maybe, or at least you see more people talking about it. Yeah. So, what did you do? Was there therapy? How did you start to? What was the breaking point for you when you knew you needed to do something different?
I got to a point where I know I was crying a lot, just kind of like privately. I don't even think he really knew about it. And so something told me, like, you know what, maybe this is postpartum. It took me that long to figure out that that's what it could be. And so I reached out, I talked to my GP about it, private.
Your physician.
Yeah.
Did you talk to girlfriends, though? Did you talk to other friends? Did you say, Mom, why not?
I didn't say anything. I think at the time I was struggling to figure out, well, maybe this is just me having trouble just adjusting. Maybe it's just me.
Was there some embarrassment? Did you feel like, I'm going to look like I'm not a good mom?
Yeah. Looking back now, I can probably say, there probably was some embarrassment and some shame there that I made this choice and I chose this life and I should be able to handle this better than I am. And so I probably was in denial, to be honest, for some time.
Right. Like this is going to pass, right? What do they say? Just snap out of it.
You
didn't snap into twins. You can't snap out of
Yeah.
all of the things that come with mothering for the
Exactly.
first time.
Exactly.
So in your capacity as a mental health therapist, and I just want to clarify, you were not a therapist
I was
at the
not working
time,
as a
right?
therapist at the. I was trained, but I hadn't been working in that field at the time.
So the lessons you have learned now as a mental health therapist,
Yeah.
what kind of conversations do you have with new moms and dads about just that first step?
Yeah.
Telling somebody I'm struggling.
Yeah, I really take time to celebrate them when they take the first step because it's huge. And so we have conversation about that where I really give them a pat on the back for taking the first step and being brave, brave enough to do that. And then also to help kind of silence some of the shame and the guilt around it because I know what that felt like and
Yeah.
I can see it in them and in their posture when they kind of come on. And so it's conversation around that and reassuring them that this is super common. And it's justified that you would be feeling the way you're feeling
Right.
with everything. This is a huge life transition.
And because sometimes women, older women, aren't necessarily, oh baby, it's gonna be all right. Just put some rice in the bottle, let the baby sleep, and you go get a nap.
Yeah.
And that's not. I mean,
Yeah.
there are literally things that are. There's some synapses that are firing a little differently,
Absolutely.
right? I
Absolutely.
mean, there's the biggest hormone dump you've ever had
Yep.
after a baby.
Yep.
Your body and your mind are
Your
in
body
a different
is
space.
just trying to settle. I mean, pregnancy, huge uptick in hormones.
Yeah.
And then delivery, everything drops down, and
Yeah.
everything's out of whack. And then you add to that the depression fundamentally is a chemical imbalance, and so you have those two things going on at the same time.
Yeah.
Plus the tangible and observable things that are overwhelming. It's a lot.
Okay, for you, how proud of you of your wife to be able to see her go from where she was in very private spaces to where she is now, advocating for other women with postpartum depression.
Oh, very, very proud. I think, she trained for this, so it's something that she's always, been involved in or looking forward to in terms of helping other people, and that's her personality. And I think when she first broached the subject on training was when we went on our anniversary trip, went up into the mountains and while our wine tasting, and she said, "Oh, what about this?" And that's how I think that's how I remember it anyway. And she and it was a yes for me. She should go ahead and pursue that passion.
And pursuing it so effectively you are, because you really are inspiring. Just even with this conversation, I have to imagine somebody's watching and saying, okay, I can get there. Listen, when we return, you are going to meet another mother. Her name is Michaela, and she's got 2 little ones, and her bout with postpartum depression also evolved into a mission to help other women. You're going to hear more about her experience when she joins us after the break. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And I really want to thank you for season 3 of Portia. It's because of loyal viewers like you that we keep getting to share this daily dose of positivity all across the country. So just a reminder, I still need you to like, comment, and subscribe. And go ahead and tell your friends. You can catch us now in Orlando, in San Francisco, in Atlanta, and all across the country on Fox Soul. Tell your friends. We'll see you soon on Portia.